Good afternoon, everybody. It is Monday, April the 20th, and it is a fabulous day for another week of school at home. How are you guys doing today? I'm doing really well. I had a fabulous weekend. I got a lot of work done on my garden, so I'm really excited about that. I planted lots of vegetables, so I really hope that they all grow because, homegrown vegetables taste so good. So I am so excited about that, and I hope that they all grow well. The rain has been good to water them, and it wasn't too bad here. We didn't really have major winds and things like they were expecting. It seemed like we got a blessing in that. It kind of passed over. I hope you guys are doing okay this morning and well, this afternoon rather, and that the weather didn't get you guys too bad either. I have some cool things to share with you guys today. Let's go ahead and get started, okay? All right, so the first thing I have to share with you guys is a website from Scholastic. It is called, it's from a Scholastic magazine, and it has lots of projects and activities for you guys to do at home. Now, obviously, we have to access the website, but a lot of the activities you don't have to be online to do. Some of you do, some of you don't. But parents and students, this is a great resource here. You can pick the grade level, for example, pre-K kindergarten, grades 1 and 2, and then grades 3 and 5 for us. There are some more resources down here, some excellent ideas for families, some awesome activities with Dave Pilkey and Captain Underpants and Dogman. So I encourage you guys to explore this. For example, I'm going to click one right here, grades 1 and 2, and it shows you some activities. This first one talks about the online activities with Dave Pilkey. I mentioned that last week from the Library of Congress. Down here, it gives you some activities that you can do using Scholastic resources, okay? So this one has a book for you guys to read, two books actually. Diary of a Spider and A Spiderling Grows Up. So you've got a fiction and a nonfiction book there. There's a video to watch, a drawing activity, a writing activity. And then again, it's there listed in Spanish as well. So if you need some English language support. The next day, there's some weather activities. There are some really cool learning activities here that parents, if you have the access, I encourage you to use these things. If you look, they've got 4 weeks worth of things here for you guys to do. Lots of reading activities that combine writing, math, social studies, science. Really cool activities here for you guys to explore. I encourage you to do that. That was just a sample from the grades 1 and 2. If we go to the grades 3 through 5, you'll see similar type activities. There's a virtual book activity here showing you, and then there's our day-by-day activities for week 1, week 2, week 3, and week 4. So here's some activities. This is Meet a Teen Changing How the World Views Disabilities. So this is a real-life story. It talks about some things to listen for, and then it gives you some other activities to go along with that. So there's some great learning activities on here. So parents and students, if you need some more activities, if you want some enrichment, maybe you've done your learning tasks for your teacher and you just want to keep learning and get above and beyond, guys, this is an excellent way to do that. This is going to enrich you and your education really well. So I encourage you to check that out, okay? All right, the second activity came from Miss Williams. You guys know who Miss Williams is at school. She's our instructional coach. And she had shared with me some other activities. So maybe you don't have the access to internet to do the Scholastic activities. Well, here are some choice boards and menus for science activities that will combine your writing, reading, and science, but you don't need to have internet, okay? Only except to access the document. And I hate that, right? But parents, you can always ask Dr. Taylor to print this out for you. This document will be available on our distance learning page. After the show, I will post this to the distance learning page so you can access it. Just like the Scholastic page, it has a section for pre-K to kindergarten, a section for grades 1 to 3, and a section for grades 4 to 5. So depending on where your child is, you can pick different activities. But look, there is a long list of activities that you can do to enhance your learning. All right, now the bottom one is middle school and high school. You guys won't need that one unless maybe your 5th graders are ready for some middle school challenges. Those are always a good thing to do. Challenge yourself. But for example, here's one. For the grades 1 through 3, experiment with sound. In your kitchen, find a cooking pot and gently tap it with a spoon, wooden, metal, and plastic. Place your hand on on the pot as you tap it. What do you feel? So you can experiment with sound by tapping it with different objects, feeling it as you tap it. How does it feel different when you tap it, when you don't, or when you hold it, or when you hold it tightly? Experiment with the sound as you're tapping the pot. Maybe tap different objects and to talk about the differences there. So there's an example of an activity from this list. These are screen-free activities, boys and girls and parents. So these are some great ideas if you need something to do and you don't have access to technology for that moment or time, okay? All right. So those are two awesome resources for you. Okay, and the last thing I have for you guys, and I just thought about this today, and I feel like duh for not thinking about this sooner. During our morning show at school, the kids on the morning team, media team, always told you what today was and gave you a little bit of information about what that day meant or a little history behind whatever today was. Well, I thought, why am I not continuing that with WCS at home? I can tell you what today is and then challenge you guys to learn more about it on your own. So today, there's actually, I'm going to tell you a couple different things. Today is, first of all, it's cheddar fries day. Anybody love cheddar fries? Anybody? I love cheddar fries. I love nacho fries. I love fries in any shape, fashion, or form. I just love fries. But today is cheddar fries day. Today is also Lima Bean Appreciation Day. I don't really appreciate lima beans. Maybe you appreciate lima beans more than I do. Maybe I should give them a second chance, but I'm not a big fan of lima beans, so forgive me. So you can learn more about lima beans cheddar fries or try them. But here's another interesting thing about today. On this day in 1951, the Romanian surgeon Dan Gavriliu, I may have said that wrong, but Dan Gavriliu performed the first successful surgery to replace an organ in someone's body. Now, when we think of that today, we think of organ transplants as just somebody donating a liver or a kidney or a heart, things like that. Well, that is where it eventually led to. But in this particular instance, he operated on someone who was having trouble with their esophagus. Okay, now if you don't know, the esophagus is that tube that goes from your mouth to your stomach on the inside. Okay, so that's an organ, and it's how your food gets from your mouth to your stomach to digest. So this person had trouble with their esophagus and they could not eat properly. Okay, and that could be pretty serious, right? So this surgeon, Dan Gavriliu, took part of the person's stomach and kind of manipulated it and created a separate tube to replace the esophagus. So he kind of stretched and twisted the stomach to make a new tube to be a new esophagus for the patient. Therefore, the patient was able to eat again normally. That was a really big thing because it had never been done before. So it was a really amazing time. He probably got a lot of credit for it at the time, and other surgeons learned from what he did to create other procedures similar, and eventually we get down to the road where transplants are today. However, because he didn't, go figure, he wasn't a rich guy. He didn't have a lot of money. Even being a surgeon back then, didn't mean you made a lot of money. So he couldn't afford to pay publishing fees to publish his work. So he didn't publish anything that he did in regards to this amazing surgery that he performed. It was only kind of like word of mouth and based on maybe the newspapers reported on it, things like that. And so there's not a lot of information on it. So maybe you as a challenge can try to learn more about this first organ replacement, not transplant, replacement that took place in 1951 by Dan Gavriliu. I will put the information that I have given you on the distance learning page, and you can take that information and do a little more digging. Find out anything else you can find out about this Romanian surgeon, or maybe find out when the next replacement or transplant took place. Learn more about organ transplants. For my younger grades, learn about the organs. What do your organs do? What is an organ? Did you know your skin is your biggest organ? Your skin is actually an organ. That's right. So maybe you can learn about organs. You can learn more about this surgeon, Dan Gavriliu, or you can learn about transplants and that type of thing right there, okay? There's lots of different ways you can go with that. And I encourage you guys to do a little exploration about that topic today based on what today is, okay? So tomorrow I will have another today is for you and then challenge you to do an activity based on what that day is, okay? So you've learned 3 awesome things today. You've learned an online activity, an offline activity, and you learned what today is and a challenge to go along with it, okay? I hope you guys are doing a really good job of keeping yourselves clean, keeping yourselves safe, and practicing social distance practices. Parents, I hope that you spent spring break looking for some good technology, an affordable technology, if you were able to do so. If not, it is not too late to do so. Your children will benefit from that purchase from now until the technology dies, which hopefully, if we take care of it, it will last a good long time. So I encourage you to consider looking into those investments about good technology to use for your kids. And if you don't, that's okay. There are lots of off-screen activities that you can do, or use technology in a limited fashion with what you do have. There are many, many ways to learn, guys. And I want to remind you, do not quit learning. Do not give up learning, okay? I'm sorry, guys. I got a tickle in my throat today. Don't give up. Don't quit learning. This is your school and you are responsible. Keep in touch with your teachers. Keep contacting your teachers through email or their distance learning page or whatever communication you are using in your class, such as Dojo or Remind. Don't forget to visit your specials teachers pages. They have worked just as hard as your regular teachers to find activities for you guys to do. Remember, Coach has that exercise calendar for you. Miss Beal, Miss Graham, Miss Garcia all have some excellent activities for you to do as well. So I encourage you to look at those pages to find those activities. Don't forget the adjusted meal distribution schedule. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 11 to 1 is when you can pick up your meals for that day and the next day. And finally, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 11 to 1 is also the time you can visit Copeland to pick up or drop off hard copies of work that you have to complete. That's all I have for you guys today. I hope you have a fabulous Monday, and I will see you tomorrow, Copeland.